Today we're doing the book tag. So like I said in the intro, today we're doing the book/readers tag, and I found this tag while looking for interesting things to do on my blog. I posted this tag about 3 months ago on my blog. I'm going to put the link below if you guys want to read it too. So let's get started. The first question is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? I actually prefer my room for reading. It's the quietest place at home. It's also where I feel really comfortable in. I'm usually always in my room. It's where I do most of my stuff. I know that a lot of people don't like reading in the rooms because they tend to fall asleep. But that doesn't happen to me. Actually, my room would be the best place for me to read. And also, I really like reading in the car. There's something about a moving car or train or even an airplane that really suits me for reading. Number 2 is bookmark or a random piece of paper. For me, it has to be a bookmark. I love bookmarks. I have, well, not lots, but I have a couple of them. Maybe I'll do a video showing you guys my bookmarks later on. I think it would be really fun to show you guys what I have, and because I recently also got new ones. So yeah, looking forward to that video. So yeah, bookmark is a thing that I always use. I also use the sticky notes, the one that are like tabs to mark my favorite parts in the book. The next question goes, do you stop at any time you want, or do you stop at a certain page or chapter? For reading, I actually have a certain time and day in which I like to do it. I usually read between 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. It's the best time for me to read. I usually finish doing everything I have to do during the day, and then I can coastally sit reading a book. And for this, I usually stop at 12. But if I'm really just a couple of pages away from a chapter, I usually finish reading it, and then I stop in the nearest chapter I'm in. Or if it's a book that I'm really liking, I just continue to read until I can't read anymore. So yeah, it really depends on what I'm reading and if I'm enjoying it a lot. But I usually do it like that. Next question, it's kind of the taboo question. Do you eat or drink while reading? I think this one is a no, and like a big no-no, and I believe a lot of people feel this way too. I don't know, you guys can let me know in the comment section below, but I feel like reading and eating or drinking is just recipe for disaster. I mean, food can get, between pages, and if it's like sticky food or something that could stain the books, well, you know what happens. And drinking, well, I believe that eating is worse than drinking with a book, because a book could dry. I just feel like, why do it? If I want water, I'll just, put the book aside, drink water, and then I'll keep reading. If I want to drink something, I'll just stop and take a break and then go back to reading. But why risk getting the book all messy and all dirty? Yeah. Sometimes I even take the jacket off. That's how much I love my books. The next question is, can you read while listening to music or watching TV? So, this one is really interesting because when I was in school and I had school books to read, I usually would read them listening to music and watching TV. But as I got older, I started to kind of get distracted while watching TV. It was really hard to concentrate, and I stopped watching TV and reading at the same time because at the end it was kind of confusing. But music, I still do read while listening to music. I usually put kind of slow songs and a low volume, and it's actually great for concentration. It kind of, eliminates all the sounds around you, and yeah, I like it a lot. The next question is, one book or several books at a time? I am currently reading 2 books. I usually do this. I usually read one physical book, one Kindle book, but it usually takes me longer to read the Kindle one, which is kind of weird because I feel like people read Kindles faster than the physical book. But I don't actually own a Kindle. I use the Kindle app to read on my computer, on my cell phone, so I think that's why I usually get distracted when I'm reading on Kindle. So I tend to finish the book that I'm reading physically faster. I try to read no more than 2 books at the same time because I feel like you will get confused and mix things up, and I usually try that I'm reading one contemporary and one fantasy, or one contemporary and one supernatural, something that's kind of different, that I won't get cross or confused. That is the way I like to do it. But I do think that reading several books at a time, it's a kind of a better way to actually get reading going. One book at a time could eventually lead you to maybe a reading slump. I don't know, but I usually try to stay with 2 books at the same time. Number 7 is reading out loud or reading in your head. So this one's really funny and you guys are gonna laugh at me, but when I'm alone, I like to give voices to the characters. And I think this is because I used to study theater when I was in college. I'm actually a languages major, but I used to take classes from theater. And actually that was like my second major, which I never got to finish it, but it was theater, and I think that's why when I'm alone, I give the character voices. So usually when I stumble upon the dialogue, I would just read it out loud and give them voices, which now that I say it out loud, it's kind of weird, but yeah. Usually just in my head, but when I'm alone, sometimes I give them voices. Next question. Number 8 is, do you read ahead or skip pages? I don't like spoilers in books. I like spoilers for everything else. Series, movies, but books are no big no-no to me. I just don't like to be spoiled on them, because I think that a movie you could watch in an hour, a book you read in several hours, you put a lot of time and energy on reading, so why would I want to read a book that I was spoiled for? This is mainly the reason why I don't think I'll be reading the Divergent series. I say this a lot, but this series was completely spoiled for me, so I don't think I'll be reading those books. So no skipping pages, no skimming ahead. Next question is, breaking the spine or keeping it new? I try to keep my books as new as I can and for as long as I can, but I think breaking the spine is something that's really difficult to control, because I think that if you like a book a lot and you keep reading it and you keep reading it, and it's something that you use a lot, it will eventually tear. But like I said before, I usually try to take really good care of my books. I take the dust jacket off. I try to not eat or drink while I'm reading them. So I try to preserve them as much as I can. Also, I don't like to lend my books a lot. So this is the last question, number 10, and it's, do you write on your books? I don't write on my books. I used to write on my books when I was in school, but I kind of, as I got older, I kind of learned to appreciate books a lot more, and I kind of tend not to write on them. I'm not saying that if you guys write on them it's wrong. I don't like to write on them. That's why I use the tabs, just to mark my favorite parts. I do, however, really like when I get a used book and it's all written and I get to read, some of the things that people write on them, their thoughts, how they view a certain scene, or how they mark their favorite part. It's kind of like reading two books. It's really, really, really fascinating for me. So that's all for today's video. Leave me a comment telling me if you guys like to drink or eat while reading. Also remember, you guys can follow me on Twitter and Goodreads. Also, I'm going to leave the link below to my blog and this post, so in case you guys, like I said, want to read it. So yeah, take care guys. Bye bye, bookworms.